Meanwhile, President of Iraq's Kurdistan regional governor, Masoud Barzani, has called on Ankara to halt its air raids against Kurds. Ankara claims Barzani has given the green light for the aerial campaign against PKK. The developments come after the military wing of the Kurdish group said it killed 2 Turkish police officers on Wednesday. The officers were accused of collaborating with ISIL in a deadly bombing in the predominantly Kurdish town of Suruç in southern Turkey earlier this week. To discuss this further, let's go to Washington and talk to Dr. Webster Tarpley, author and historian. Welcome to the program. So, Dr. Tarpley, how much could one say Turkey's so-called anti-ISIL operations are meant to suppress the Kurds?
Well, it seemed to have a classic bait and switch, a cheap trick by Erdogan and Davutoglu. They announced it. It looked like they were finally admitting and stopping this policy they've had of supporting and harboring the ISIS terrorists, right? They've let ISIS terrorists operate on their territory, have bases there, go across the whole ISIS logistics, the oil, the recruits, the money. All of this depends on Turkey. Turkey could essentially shut down ISIS from one minute to the next. So yesterday, the big announcement was they were finally bombing some of the ISIS sites, which I think is, you could attribute that to self-defense. But now this other aspect has come in, right? The obsession of the Turkish authorities with the Kurds, and the fact that in the past year or so, the PKK Kurds, as well as the KYP Kurds, in other words, the PKK probably more in Iraq, the KYP probably more in Syria, these have been some of the most effective fighters against ISIS, along with some others. So what you've got is, it looks like a policy designed to push ISIS away from the Turkish border, give them some kind of the buffer zone, which they've been constantly harping on, and push them into northern Iraq, essentially push them in the direction of the U.S. forces and the Iraqi, the Iraqi state. So it's a very crude trick, and of course, when everything like this happens, we've got to look at General John Allen, the ISIS czar in the Obama administration, in the State Department, who really acts as a kind of ambassador of Qatar and Turkey and Saudi Arabia to Washington, and he delivers their demands to Obama and tells Obama he should do what they want. But it's a very treacherous tactic. It raises the question of whether Turkey should not be kicked out of NATO, whether it's possible to have a normal alliance relationship with a government of this duplicity, trickery, and cynicism.
And of course, Doctor, what kind of a situation are we to see if the Kurds start to react to Turkey's attacks?
Well, again, the problem is there are two sides to the front, and again, the current tactic seems to be channeling the ISIS people, right, pushing them away from Turkey and pushing them towards the PKK and indeed the Peshmerga. In other words, the cities in northern Iraq, which is really now a Kurdistan entity, they will come under attack. So it's just, and of course, not too far away from that is Iran. So it's a very cynical thing, and it's going to give us a wider war. And I don't know if the State Department has said anything about it. I can't see anything that they've done. The U.S. should condemn that and demand that they stop.
Indeed. Dr. Webster Tarpley, author and historian from Washington. As always, thanks for your time there, sir.